are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
It's just I just love posterity. It really means no stress on how you look or what's in the background or
no, that's right.
Great. I'll go through it all with a fine-tooth comb and hate on myself so hard, and I've just got to go, it's fine. It's going to be lovely. These are nice people and it's good music and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, we're like very judgy as well. So
how is
I've got this new like selfie stick thing. So
oh yeah, righto.
All right, let me get my headphones on. Okay. Sweet. Just got to find where Dan is. I sent him the link this morning, so
we need to hunt him down. I actually have not done a Zoom with 3 participants before, so this will be interesting. I don't know how it's going to look, or so it'll be really cool.
Yeah. Let me see if what time is it? Oh, he's got 1 minute.
Well, that's really bright in the reflection.
Oh, it's too bright. It's too bright. Yeah. That's better.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's friendlier. Yeah. How is London?
Very wet and cloudy.
Which bit are you in? Like zone 1, 2, or 3?
We are in zone 3, so Tottenham. So we're on the Victoria line. I don't know if you know.
I remember Tottenham Hotspurs. That's a great name. Sheffield Wednesday was my favourite name for a football team, though. I think
what's that?
Sheffield Wednesday, right.
Yeah, we're not far from the Hotspurs Stadium, but I'm in South Tottenham, whereas the stadium's a bit further north. So
I'll nod and smile, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. It's sport talk. Hello, Dan.
Hi, how you going? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Hey, Dan.
The shirt.
Hello.
The dilettante shirt. Excellent.
Yes.
So actually, I have a little intro. I hope it works if I remember how to do it properly. I'll see if I can do it. Ready? Right. So, hang on. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't quite make it out.
It was supposed to be that little pretty bit from the beginning of one of your songs that you played at the corner. So I'll do a little intro. So we are joined by Rachel and Dan from STARMAPS, and we're really tying it all together. This is multinational, this one. So
it is. Yeah.
Rachel, whereabouts are you for people who are?
I'm in Tottenham, London. So it's northeast London, basically. Yeah.
Very nice. How about you, Dan? Where are you zooming in from?
I am zooming in from Campbelltown in South Australia, so down in Adelaide.
Right.
So that's northeast as well. That's northeast Adelaide. So we're northeast people. Yeah.
Actually, I think I'm in the northeast of Victoria as well. So it's rounding it all up. Nice. I'm in Ivanhoe, leafy Ivanhoe for my sins.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for making time to do this. It's lovely to have a chat with you, because I was really impressed by your set supporting Django at the Corner. That's where I first heard you, saw you, found out about you. You may have seen me down there going, yeah, Rads. I wanted to dance, but I'm trying to hold the camera still. So well done. Lovely music you're making.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How do you guys know each other?
That's going back a long way. Yeah. So do you want to go down? Drop me to. I think I saw you first, Dan. No, you saw me first play my band, didn't you?
Well, yeah. The origin story is even further back than when we actually first met. I saw Rach in her first band, Hone, with her partner Matt. They were supporting Spiderbait at the Thebby Theatre, and I reckon it was like 1999.
Showing our age.
Yeah. And I was just a punter in the mosh pit. I was a high school kid, and was there, and these guys came out after they supported Spiderbait into the crowd, and I was like, oh, there's those guys from the band. And I was so excited. I got a photo with them, and there's a photo floating around, and I still have it somewhere, and I'm probably finding it because I'm moving house at the moment. It's in a photo album somewhere, and yeah, it's me as a baby and these two rockers. And that's, and it wasn't until years later that we reconnected through the Adelaide music scene. And then I ended up being a housemate of Rach and Matt, her partner, in the city in Adelaide. And we formed a band from that point. So there's probably a bit more there about a band we started together called Newton Heath.
I love that you had a fan moment.
Yeah.
There's something really special about realizing that actual people can make music. I remember having my first moment seeing Jason Sweeney perform at Artery Party at Carclew. This is like in the 90s as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, oh my Lord, that's a local person making actual music, and it's really good. And it kind of blew my mind because I was at the time listening to a lot of like, top 20 countdowns, and like I didn't realize that people could actually make music and be around. It was
in your local world.
That's it. Yeah. And after that it was great. So I got into 3D. I was really involved there. So many great Adelaide bands. It's a fantastic community of people and lots of real talent. It's like I kind of like that it's a bit overlooked. Feels like we
it's secret.
But it's good. So I went to see you see little brackets ADL on the lineup list. So I just think yes. I'm really excited.
That's so good. Yeah.
So you've been in like this shirt that you've got on, Dan. This is the Dilettantes. That's one of a band that you've been in before. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a punk band still currently working in Adelaide. A couple of friends of mine, at one stage they needed a bass player, and I wasn't a bass player. But another funny little segue is that Rach, when she moved to Tottenham, sold me her old bass guitar, and I used that bass guitar to play in the band Dilettantes for 3 years as a bassist. So
and you've still got that bass, haven't you?
I've still got it. I still use it. I've used it to record bass for the next STARMAPS single, actually, the one that we'll release later. So that bass has definitely gotten around. Did you play it'd spin me out, Rach, if you played that same bass guitar in Hone, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, that was my Hone bass. Yeah, so you would have seen at the Spiderbait gig.
From the 99 gig all the way through to recent times. Wow.
You have to take a photograph of yourself with that bass now.
Yeah.
So when did you guys start making music together? How did that actually happen?
So I'll let you talk this time, Rach.
Yeah. So Matt, my partner, we moved to when we were in a band together, not Dan, I was in a band, Edison. Then we moved to Canada, Matt and I. We started working on an album for a band called Newton Heath, and we asked Dan to join that because we used to play with Dan's old band, Sumi, quite a bit, and then I filled in Dan's old band, Sumi, for a while on bass. And then, so he joined Newton Heath. We put out an album, but the whole scene had changed. That was in like 2007. The whole scene had changed, and our interests of music, of what we were into, had changed. So we sort of scrapped that and started a new band called the Dark Lights. Then we moved the Dark Lights moved to London, except Dan decided not to come with us, unfortunately. So we ended up having a different singer. We teamed up with there was another guy, Alan from Adelaide. He moved over as well, and we joined up with a couple of London guys, and we did some stuff. We toured and stuff like that, and had very, very moderate success, if that's what you want to call. Got a bit of play on BBC introducing, and I think one of the songs is on Geordie Shore, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
How did you find starting a band in London? It's scary enough starting a band anywhere, isn't it? But London, big.
Well, the good thing is the guys that we've joined the band with, like we'd been friends with one of them for years because he'd lived in Australia for a while. They were already kind of hooked up a little bit in the scene, and then we just kind of got into a bit of a scene, and we had a rehearsal space near our place, and like, yeah, it's different. It's a lot more competitive, and there's definitely like at a sort of grassroots level, there's like no money whatsoever. You're like, it's almost like pay to play. But yeah, we managed to just have like a nice little scene, created our own little scene, I guess, for that. And then I personally, I got burnt out doing like toilet tours, basically. And then
elaborate on that. How do you define a toilet tour?
So it's basically when you are playing like pubs that are my son just wants to join in. It's basically when you are like basically doing like pubs that are just like, you know, you go to the toilet and they're like, the door's broken and like and it's just shit holes basically.
Yeah.
So we don't want to say the Exeter, but a bit like the Exeter with a really crappy toilet.
Yeah, a bit like the Exeter, except the Exeter's got a nice vibe to it. That's like grass.
Got a good sticky floor though.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, my body just had enough, and I basically gave up music for like, after doing it for like, you know, 15, 20 years, I gave it up for like nearly 10 years, not quite. Because I did it from like being a teenager, like that's all I wanted to do, and I gave it up. And started a coffee shop and a cafe, and we just recently sold that after 9 years. And in the meantime, during lockdown, Dan just reached out to me. We hadn't chatted for like years, had we, Dan?
No.
And he's just like, hey, I'm working on this thing. Do you want to like start writing some beats for it? And I was like, okay. And just kind of got back into it. And we wrote a bunch of songs together, thinking that they'll never see the light of day in terms of playing live or anything. Thought, oh, we'll just record them and release them. And then when I came back to Adelaide this year, he's like, do you want to play a show? And I was like, okay, I don't know how these songs are going to go, but we'll figure it out. And yeah, before we knew it, we're like, oh, this is actually a real thing now. And it's, yeah, I guess we're both pretty driven to take it as far as we can.
Yeah, nice. So Dan, at what stage were the tracks at when you went to get Rachel involved? Like, what were they like?
Yeah, I think for me, like some of them have been sitting around for a fair few years. I mean, there's a couple of tracks that we
wrote together, didn't we?
We wrote together back when the Dark Lights first started. And I'd really, you know, after I didn't go to London, you know, I got, to be honest, I got a bit scared of the idea of going over there and being able to stay for 2 years, because I was like the only person who had I didn't have any sort of ties that I knew of in the UK to sort of keep me there beyond that first couple of years, and I was worried about what kind of work I could do over there and things like that. It was just got a bit of cold feet. You know, all these things, like in hindsight, you go, oh, that would have been great to go over and just have the experience. But yeah, I didn't go, and then I didn't sort of do much with those songs for a while, and then I got sort of started doing a few solo gigs at places like just the Crown and Anchor and Crown and Anchor Front Bar, things like that. And I was like, oh, I can dust off some old songs that I wrote with Matt and Rach, just some other songs that sat on with my old band Sumi. I even played a Newton Heath song, which is the first band that Rach and I played in together. And just sort of, yeah, just put this set together of all these old songs. And then I realized 2 or 3 of the Dark Light songs were a really great song. So then I was like, I really would love to redo these songs and release them at some point. And I tried probably back in about 2019, tried to start putting a band together with a few friends here in Adelaide, just a more organic band, a couple of guitarists, bass and drums. And things were sort of tracking along pretty well with that. And then it just wasn't working because one of the people had some personal family stuff that was pretty heavy going on, and the drummer had to decided to move to Melbourne, and then I was just like, oh, this is too hard, and thought it's not really going to work. And then I thought, one last ditch effort, if I'm not, I was going to do it solo, or I tried reaching out to Rach and to see if she had any capacity to take on some work to sort of help bring them to life, and luckily she did. And you know, we looked at some of the old tracks which were pretty developed, and then we also thought, let's have a crack at some new songs. And A couple of the new ones. One of them was Somebody Say Something, which we've just released as the second single.
With that
And another
gorgeous
one called
video, which is so lovely.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't believe you guys have made that pretty much yourself. I saw the green screen. It looks great.
Yeah. Well, so that's going to come out next week. The full version of that. So
pre-save. Actually, I did have a little question. Like, I didn't really understand the whole pre-save thing. Apparently, it's good for the algorithm or something. Like,
mate.
Why should people pre-save, in your opinion?
So this is the other thing with getting back into doing music is it's like literally a whole new world. Like it's so algorithms, playlists, like pre-saves, like following you on Spotify and all that stuff is like, and that gives you more plays, and more plays you have, like that. Like it's just it's not about playing live anymore. So, which kind of works for being in different cities on the other side of the world, but you've just got to be really savvy with all that stuff. So,
yeah, it's a weird time.
I don't know how the algorithm works exactly. All I know is that the first 30 seconds of your song is really important, and
it's just
also
a cat in a shoebox. You realize it's not a real algorithm.
No. yeah. So, like, because the first single we put out, like, suddenly was on one of the algorithm playlists, the release radar, for like a week, and that was just like suddenly our plays just went boom, and all these people hearing it that didn't know us. So I guess that's a good thing. It's like you can pretty much write a song like how we've done, put it up there, and then if it gets in the right thing, like people in like Hong Kong are Shazamming it, because they've heard it in some cafe somewhere. So that's kind of cool. So
do you think that makes
but
it
it's very
sorry, just
I was just going to say, but it's very competitive. Yeah.
But does it also mean that this is all still kind of open as a creative project, even now you're back in the UK because you were in Adelaide, you were able to spend some time together? Hi, kid. We love kids. Don't worry. We love you.
Yeah.
Hi,
It
the reason I'm not being
is,
interrupted is mine somewhere else.
Yeah, I've got my two girls tonight too, somewhere in the background, because their mum's out having a night out. So they might call out to me at some point too. It's a family affair. But yeah, to answer your question, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the idea initially, before Rach was able to come over to Australia, was that we were just going to you have this as a creative outlet, write some songs, release some songs, and then just see what we can do without having to play live. So now it's back to that, and me trying to get us over to London at some point next year, with Jeremy, the drummer that's been playing live with us as well.
Is he the one who played at
just see how we go.
the corner?
He is, yeah.
He was great.
No.
He was really good.
Yeah, no, he's a good drummer, but also like
such a lovely guy as well.
He's a good person to tour with, because he's just got the right sort of personality and get along, and he's a good drummer too. He's almost took over as like music director when in the very few rehearsals we had, because we kind of needed someone, because he was like, right, you do this and this part goes like this, and it was great.
Pretty high intensity relationship situation, isn't it, really? So what you say about having a good personality, that's actually really important, isn't it?
Really important, yeah, especially given what we went through for the Melbourne show.
That almost I felt for you. Do you want to tell that story? Because man, like, you played so well. You
that was brutal.
But
that nearly didn't go ahead. It nearly didn't go ahead, that show. It was so close to having to pull out.
I still don't know exactly what happened, but my lovely wife was quite sick a few days earlier with gastro, and I thought I had just dodged the bullet, because none of the rest of us in the house got sick. And so we flew over to Melbourne. I was fine all the way there, and we got to our hotel, and I'm like, I'm not feeling too crash hot. I'm gonna have a bit of a nap. Had an afternoon nap in the hotel room, and then we had to roll into sound check, and Django was sound checking at the time, and I just disappeared because I was
and we're like, where the hell's Dan?
I don't feel so good. And funny story as well is that there were no cubicles in the actual band room in the men's toilets, so I had to run out of the venue and go to the front bar to find a cubicle. And I was like, I thought, I'm just going to throw up and it'll be fine. Like whatever it is, it will be out of my system. But I was there for, I reckon, a good hour.
At least.
And then I get this message from a friend of ours, Fiona, and she's like, "Oh, where are you? There's we're in the front bar, and someone's here to say hello to you." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm kind of dying in the toilet right now." And then I messaged Rach and Jeremy. I'm like on our group chat, being like, "I don't know what's happening, but I'm stuck. I don't know if this show is going to go ahead." And then Rach has gone into mum mode and sort of gone down to the chemist and got me some gastro stop and whatnot. And I've come back out in the meantime while they're there, back into the band room, had a sip of water, and then back to throw up again. And bumped into them on the way out, and they're like, "You don't look so good, mate." And I'm like, "No."
So energy-wise too, like I can't imagine trying to do a show feeling like that. Like, oh, far out. Well done. Props to you.
And thankfully, the sound check was running probably about 15-20 minutes behind schedule. So like the whole show was like pushed back, like I think maybe 15 minutes, like doors and everything got pushed back, maybe up to half an hour. I
got a little note from the corner actually saying your ticket. And I'm like, I don't care. I'll see you there. I'm coming, but yeah. So the whole thing got moved.
It was hot. Yeah, it was high.
That wasn't our fault either.
That wasn't your gastro.
No. That was because I don't know, they were running behind with the band before us or whatever.
They were great. I
thought miraculously,
I'd been waiting to see them for so long, and I was so looking forward to it, and I was so glad to get there in time to catch you guys. I wanted to ask about the new song that's coming out. So that's a newly written song, and that was played live at the Kaurna, and it's really a lovely song about feeling isolated, and like it's a really emotional song. How did it sort of take shape?
I think I started with the keyboard stuff. So like in the depth of lockdown. So I don't know if you're in Melbourne for lockdown. I think Adelaide wasn't quite as bad, but London was grim. I think Melbourne was probably a similar kind of thing. Like in the depth of winter, especially because ours was around Christmas time, and it was just like it was grim. Like you're just hearing about the death rates, like you can't see anyone. It was just, so I was just like writing sort of trying to capture that emotion, I guess, with like the synth sounds and stuff like that. And so that was, and I sent some of the ideas to Dan, and he just like went, "Yeah, this is great," and ran with it with the vocals and then guitars and stuff. And then Dan can talk about the message, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely taken on a bit of a life of its own, as songs often do when they go out into the world, and the isolation part and the COVID connections really, I guess, resonate in terms of the lyrics. But they're also born from that sort of when you're in like a long-term relationship, or you have your children and all of that, you really struggle to have time alone with your partner, and then also the COVID and all of that. So it's got the sort of double meaning of time alone. So time alone, you want time alone with the person you love, but you don't want any more time alone by yourself. So there's a lot of sort of deepness around that sort of message in there. And then Rach just called it "Somebody Say Something" when she first wrote it, with no connection, and I just slipped that line in there, and it sort of took on another meaning. So
I always
kept that original title.
Like it was a pressure cooker for relationships the whole time, for sure.
Yeah. Because I guess I always put like a working title when I put a few bits together, that like I'm usually inspired something that's happened, and I put a working title, and then I'm totally like, however Dan interprets it and puts his thing on it. So it was kind of cool that he kind of felt that lyrically as well.
I think it's great. And I hope lots of people tune in and listen, because that was the song that got my attention that night. I was like, these people are really saying something real, felt like really honest art. It was genuine, it was original. So I have to give you like props.
Oh, thank you.
Rose to a challenge and delivered some really good art, and you connected with someone in the crowd, and that's really that's the trick, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And we do appreciate that. Yeah.
But maybe I'll just like get you guys to just like wave and say hi to the camera, and then I'll kind of chop all this together. So you like take it in turns, because I think the Zoom kind of focuses on the person who's speaking. So I'm not really sure how it's going to come out in post-production, but Dan and Rach, thanks a ton. So yeah.
No worries. All right, you go, Dan.
Do we just do like a hi, I'm Dan from STARMAPS, that kind of thing?
Yeah. It's cute.
Yeah.
And we're dorky.
Hi, this is Dan from STARMAPS.
And like come and see us live and like listen to us and follow us,
yeah.
You know, like
set
All
right, so I'll go hi. Hello, this is Rachel from STARMAPS. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook at SS STARMAPS SS. And pre-save, no, not even pre-save. Go get our singles on Spotify, Tidal, all the things. Somebody Say Something and This Is Love.
Beautiful. Stay cool, stay rad. Sick to meet you guys. And
you too.
I'm a bit nervous about chopping this together because I haven't done a 3-person Zoom. I was telling Rachel before, so hopefully I'll get this to sound really, really nice. But I think that was some nice content, and people will enjoy that. And also, actually, Dan, I realised as well, I've already heard your podcast because you had Anthony from Heinous Crimes on.
Oh yeah. So are you talking about the Here We Crow podcast?
Yeah, the Here We Crow thing. I'm not really into football, but I listened to it because he was going to be talking about Collingwood, and that's my daughter's team. So I was like, it's really cute. It's a great podcast. It's lovely.
Ant Catern. Yeah. He's a good guy. You know, can I just tell you something really funny? 2 things. Ant basically messaged me one day saying, because I don't know if you know, do you know him personally?
I have met him since interviewing Heinous Crimes, but before that I didn't know them.
Oh, well, I know him through RecLink from the
Community Cup.
The Community Cup. So, and then he messages me out of the blue one day saying, I just realised that I've been teaching your daughter all day, because he's a teacher now, and he was at my daughter's school doing a relief class. And the other thing I was going to just tell you quickly is my next door neighbour's name is Hermione as well. So.
Oh, no way. Yeah. Well, we can arm wrestle over who gets to... No. It was so weird. I got mugged by a franchise at the age of 27. I was like, why has everybody heard my name? What's going on? So weird.
Yeah.
And the other fun fact is me and Dan are like one-eyed supporters of the opposite teams. So expect to see some content where we are giving each other crap for that.
Nice. So, well, I'm a fair weather split Collingwood Crows person now.
Okay.
That's good.
So if Dan's Crows and I'm Port. So like we are like, I keep sending him pictures of me and my merch, and he keeps sending me vomiting emojis back. It's carrying on the vomiting.
But, you know, as long as you're fighting over football, get the tension out if there is any. Yeah. Lovely to chat, and lovely to meet you. And
thank you.
Keep going and keep me posted. You know, I'll keep flicking your stories up and, you know, sharing.
Oh, nice.
Nice to support cool people. So.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming to the show.
Likewise.
As well. Cheers. All right. I'll speak to you later, Dan.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.